This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. In this video brought to you by the luxury world, we are pulling back the velvet curtain on one of the most calculated and captivating brands in the luxury space, Rolex. Behind every exhibition case and waitlist clipboard lies a system far more deliberate than most realize. It is not just about watches, it is about power, perception, and precise control. As demand for stainless steel sports models hit fever pitch, Rolex is not scrambling to meet it, they are orchestrating it. Through strategic scarcity, price recalibrations, and a certified pre-owned program that reshaped the resale landscape, Rolex has turned customer desire into its strongest currency. In this breakdown, we explore how Rolex mastered the art of saying no, why the waitlist is more survey than service, and how the brand's quiet moves in 2025 are shaping collector behavior, secondary pricing, and brand positioning. From CPO chess moves to a pivot toward gold, the game has changed, and Rolex is still playing several moves ahead. For those who have not yet subscribed to our channel, doing so will ensure access to upcoming insights and content that can further refine their watch investment strategies. Rolex authorized dealers have perfected the subtle art of polite refusal. Walk into a boutique and inquire about a submariner, and the response is typically a gentle redirection toward a waitlist, a list that feels less like an invitation and more like a carefully constructed illusion. These lists are not designed with customer convenience in mind. Rather, they serve as a critical instrument in Rolex's broader market strategy. Each name added becomes another data point in the brand's confidential algorithm, an internal system that helps map demand, curate scarcity, and fine-tune distribution with precision. This is not traditional customer service. It is a calculated framework engineered to heighten exclusivity. The more interest is shown in steel sports models, the more deliberately scarce they become. It is a refined play on reverse psychology. By withholding access, desire is amplified. The waitlist is not simply a queue. It is an active survey mechanism that feeds Rolex real-time data on consumer preferences. Every individual who signs up provides valuable insight into what's trending, what's cooling, and how demand is evolving. Ironically, the more consumers race to get on the list, the longer it grows, creating a cycle of perceived exclusivity that fuels itself. While many see the waitlist as a frustrating hurdle, it is actually a cornerstone of Rolex's market control. It enables the brand to shape perception, guide inventory decisions, and ensure that supply never outpaces demand. The CPO program. Controlling the narrative. When Rolex introduced its certified pre-owned CPO program, many assumed it was merely a concession to authorized dealers, another product line to offer while new watches remained scarce. In reality, it was a strategic move designed to regain control over the secondary market. For decades, the pre-owned space was a wild west of price fluctuations and speculative flipping. The CPO program brought structure and oversight. Rolex's acquisition of Bucker in 2023 signaled more than retail expansion. It represented a chess movement that allowed Rolex to manage resale values, preserve brand prestige, and dictate the tone of the second-hand conversation. Far from being indifferent, luxury brands such as Rolex closely monitor pre-owned pricing because those values influence perception. When second-hand models exceed retail, it sends a powerful message about enduring demand and relevance. The COVID-19 pandemic created a surge in luxury demand that few predicted. While consumers stockpiled household essentials, Rolex saw unprecedented interest in stainless steel models, particularly the submariner. At one point, it was easier to source disinfectants than a steel Rolex. In response, Rolex initiated long-term infrastructure changes. New production facilities, set to begin operations by late 2025, were planned to meet escalating demand. However, rather than flooding the market with inventory, Rolex adopted a more nuanced approach, quietly rolling out its CPO program and gradually steering focus toward precious metals. As resale prices began to soften in late 2023, Rolex took a counterintuitive step, an 8% price increase in early 2025. For most brands, such a move during a market dip would be unthinkable. But for Rolex, it was business as usual. The brand has long used incremental retail hikes to maintain mystique and value perception. Even minimal design updates, new fonts, minor polish adjustments, subtle case revisions, are enough to justify a higher price point. This tactic does more than inflate prices. It elevates older models, making them appear like under-the-radar collector's pieces instead of outdated stock. In effect, Rolex creates a pricing illusion that keeps both new and pre-owned markets in the lockstep. A vintage Explorer at $4,000 begins to look attractive next to a $5,000 updated model, reinforcing demand across the board. With the steel watch market cooling, Rolex has begun reducing the visibility of its most sought-after models. Stainless steel submariners, Oyster Perpetuals, and Explorers, once seen as entry points into the brand, are becoming less accessible. These models were traditionally a consumer's first Rolex, versatile, modest, and a gateway to higher-end pieces. Today, that entry point is shifting. Rolex is gradually nudging buyers toward two-tone and full gold references. This pivot is not accidental. Precious metal pieces come with higher margins, and Rolex is leveraging that profitability without needing to flood the market. Steel references, once plentiful, are now carefully rationed to heighten desirability. Steel has gone from the accessible luxury option to the one that feels nearly unattainable. Collectors who once started with a stainless submariner are now being redirected toward a Datejust in Everose or a Sky Dweller in yellow gold. It is a recalibration, one that speaks volumes without saying a word. In recent months, market dynamics have begun to shift. The panic buying behavior that characterized the past few years is subsiding. Collectors are becoming more intentional, focusing on watches they want rather than accepting whatever is available. The thrill of getting the call from an AD is no longer sufficient to drive blind purchases. Meanwhile, Rolex continues to guide the narrative. Steel production is being throttled, while gold and platinum take center stage. This is not a market crash or rebound, it is a controlled adjustment. A strategic recalibration that reinforces exclusivity without causing volatility. The arrival of new Rolex factories by the end of 2025 will not result in a sudden flood of supply. The ramp-up is expected to be gradual, allowing the brand to maintain its grip on scarcity. Economic uncertainty and global trade tensions, including ongoing tariff debates, only add complexity to the equation. That said, many older Rolex models are beginning to hover near pre-pandemic pricing. While not necessarily bargains, they are no longer marked by the excessive premium seen in 2021. The market feels less frantic, more balanced, suggesting a period of stabilization. For those considering a Rolex purchase, the current landscape offers a moment of relative clarity. Prices have mostly leveled off, and the brand's retail increases are serving to uphold pre-owned values. If the right watch appears at a fair price, hesitation may no longer be necessary. However, speculative purchases should be approached with caution. Acquiring a Datejust in hopes of earning access to a Daytona may no longer be a viable strategy. This is not a loyalty program. It is a luxury brand managing demand through scarcity and precision. Rolex remains a master of brand control. From quietly manipulating waitlists to managing the secondary market and redirecting demand, every move is strategic. The steel models are harder to find, not because of a shortage, but because exclusivity has become the product. Whether to wait for the production ramp up or explore alternatives like Grand Seiko is now a personal calculation. For many, the appeal of Rolex has become less about the watch and more about the chase. But for the discerning collector, real satisfaction may lie in choosing timepieces based on passion, not scarcity. If the shifting dynamics of the luxury watch market have offered a new perspective, or at least made waiting for that elusive authorized dealer call a little less painful, consider exploring more insights from Luxury World. The conversation around wristwatches is evolving, and the next chapter promises even more complexity, intrigue, and investment potential. What are your thoughts on the Rolex topic we shared in this video? We would appreciate it if you let us know by leaving a comment and giving it a thumbs up. Do not forget to follow our channel for more content. Once again, this is the Luxury World, and we look forward to having you join us in our upcoming videos.